In hip-hop, rivalries are nothing new. But few were as raw, violent, and unforgettable as the feud between Gucci Mane and Jeezy. What started as a simple collaboration in the early 2000s spiraled into one of the most dangerous beefs the rap game has ever seen, complete with diss tracks, betrayal, and even bloodshed. This is the untold story of trap music's blood feud. The year was 2005, and Atlanta was taking over. Trap music was exploding, and two of its brightest stars were on the rise: Gucci Mane, the gritty newcomer with a street edge, and Jeezy, the hustler-turned-rapper whose voice spoke for the struggle. But first it looked like their paths were meant to align. Gucci had just recorded his breakout single Icy, a flashy anthem that introduced him to the world. The track featured Jeezy, who was on the verge of dropping his classic Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101. On paper, the collab should have been a win for both, solidifying their names in the game, but behind the scenes, tension was already building. Jeezy felt Icy belonged to him, while Gucci wasn't letting it go. To Gucci, the record was his ticket to the top, and no one was taking that away. That disagreement lit the fuse on a feud that would only get darker, By the end of 2005, Jeezy fired the first big shot with his diss record Stay Strapped. On it, he put a $10,000 bounty on Gucci's chain. This wasn't just rap, it was an open challenge to the streets. Gucci, never the type to back down, came right back with round one, a track aimed straight at Jeezy and his crew. Then things turned deadly. On May 10, 2005, Gucci Mane was ambushed at a house in Decatur, Georgia. Armed men stormed in and a shootout broke out. When the smoke cleared, one of Jeezy's affiliates, Henry Lee Clark III, better known as Pookie Loc, was dead. Gucci turned himself in days later, admitting he pulled the trigger, but claiming self-defense. The courts agreed, and the charges were dropped. But the streets, they had already chosen sides. A rap beef had just turned into a war with real bodies on the line. For the next few years, things only got uglier. Gucci branded Jeezy a fraud. Jeezy called Gucci reckless and unstable. Diss after diss, interview after interview, the tension kept climbing. Two rappers who could have built Atlanta together had now become sworn enemies. For fans, it was entertainment. For the city, it was dangerous. The beef wasn't just on wax, it was in the streets. Crews and affiliates carried it with them, and the violence that came with it was no joke. And yet, both men rose higher. Jeezy became a southern rap icon with anthems like Soul Survivor and Put On. Gucci, meanwhile, dropped mixtape after mixtape, shaping the very sound of Atlanta trap. Despite the bloodshed, both men became unstoppable, but the feud never truly went away. Every few years, the fire would flare back up: more diss records, more rumors, more tension. Fans wondered if Gucci and Jeezy would ever see eye to eye. Then came 2020. In the middle of a pandemic, the unthinkable happened. Gucci Mane and Jeezy agreed to go head-to-head in a versus battle. After 15 years of war, could these two men really stand on the same stage? The night was electric. Millions watched as history unfolded. From the start, Gucci came in swinging, dropping his most disrespectful tracks, including The Truth, where he bragged about killing Jeezy's associate. The tension was thick. You could feel the years of pain and betrayal in the air. But then, something shifted. Jeezy, instead of firing back, called for peace. He reminded Gucci and everyone watching that their feud had claimed lives and nearly destroyed them both. It was a moment of growth, maturity, and perspective. And then shockingly, Gucci accepted. By the end of the night, the two men performed Icy together, the same track that started it all. For hip-hop fans, it was a full-circle moment. The beef between Gucci Mane and Jeezy will always be remembered as one of rap's deadliest and most dramatic rivalries. It wasn't just music, it was pride, survival, and the streets. But in the end, it also became a lesson in growth and reconciliation. Today, Jeezy stands as a respected OG of trap, while Gucci has reinvented himself as a husband, father, and businessman. Their story proves that even the deepest scars can heal, and that sometimes, peace is the biggest victory. The war between Gucci Mane and Jeezy was real. It was bloody, but it also gave us one of the most unforgettable chapters in hip-hop history. Because in Atlanta, trap music isn't just music, life. And when the line between art and reality blurs, the consequences can be deadly.